Have you ever watched a single drop of water fall upon a stone? It seems so small, so powerless against the hard rock. If it falls just once, nothing changes. The stone remains exactly as it was. But if that drop continues to fall, day after day, week after week, something incredible begins to happen. The water doesn't break the stone with force. It shapes the stone with time. Many of us approach our goals like a sudden, violent storm. We try to change everything in a single day. We run until we are exhausted and then we stop. But true progress is not a storm. It is the steady, quiet drop of water. It is the decision to show up in a small way every single day. It is easy to feel inspired at the beginning. When a new idea strikes us, excitement fills our minds, and we want to take massive action. We want to work for 10 hours straight or change our entire routine overnight. But inspiration is like a flash of lightning. It is brilliant, but it is gone in an instant. What happens when the initial excitement fades? What happens when the work becomes repetitive and the progress seems invisible? This is where most people give up. They believe that because they no longer feel that intense rush, they are no longer moving forward. But the truth is, the real journey hasn't even begun until the excitement goes away. Consistency is not about perfection. It is a common mistake to think that being consistent means never failing, never skipping a day, or never making a mistake. But life is unpredictable. There will be days when you are tired, days when you are busy, and days when things simply do not go according to plan. True consistency is not a straight line that never bends. It is the ability to resume your path after you have been pushed off course. If you miss a day, the solution is not to beat yourself up or give up entirely. The solution is simply to return tomorrow. One missed step does not ruin a journey, unless you choose to stop walking. Think of consistency as building a house. A house is not built by dropping 1,000 bricks all at once. It is built by laying one single brick, carefully and correctly day after day. If you look at your progress at the end of a single afternoon, it might look like nothing has changed. You might see just a few stones sitting in the mud. It is easy to feel discouraged when the daily effort feels so insignificant. But this is the illusion of time. The human mind struggles to see the invisible threads of compounding growth. We want to see the whole roof before we have even finished the foundation. We must learn to trust the brick we are holding right now, in this very moment. The secret to maintaining this quiet momentum is to change how you measure success. If you only look at the final goal, the mountain will always seem too high, and the distance will always feel too great. You will constantly feel like you are failing because you have not arrived yet. Instead, learn to measure your success by your input, not your output. Did you open your book today? Did you practice for just 10 minutes? Did you take one small step forward? If the answer is yes, then you have succeeded. When you fall in love with the daily practice, the results take care of themselves. The peak of the mountain is just a consequence of loving the climb. Let go of the need for immediate results. In our modern world, we are trained to expect everything instantly. We want high-speed internet, fast food, and immediate success. But the most valuable things in life, wisdom, skill, deep relationships, and true strength, cannot be downloaded overnight. They require a season of invisible growth. Think of a mighty oak tree. It does not grow to its majestic height in a single summer. It spends years quietly spreading its roots deep into the dark earth, away from the eyes of the world. It grows in the quiet hours when no one is watching. Your quiet efforts are your roots. Trust the growing season. The most difficult part of the journey is the middle. When you first start, you have the fuel of excitement. When you near the end, you have the fuel of the finish line in sight. But in the middle, you have neither. The initial joy has completely faded, and the final goal still feels miles away. This is what writers call the climax of monotony. It is the point where the path feels flat, boring, and endless. But remember this: the middle is exactly where the real transformation happens. Anyone can start a journey, and anyone can celebrate at the end. But champions are made in the quiet, boring middle, simply by refusing to stop. To survive the middle, you must learn to detach your mind from the scale of the task. If you think about the 300 days ahead of you, the weight of the future will crush your motivation today. Instead, build a wall around this present day. Shrink your world down to the next 24 hours. Your only goal is to win this single day. Do not worry about what you will do tomorrow, or how tired you might be next week. Tomorrow will have its own strength. Today, you only need enough strength for today. When you break a giant goal down into tiny daily segments, the impossible becomes completely manageable. There is a quiet beauty in doing something well when no one is watching. In our culture, we are often encouraged to perform for others, to post our achievements, to seek applause, and to validate our progress through the eyes of the world. But the most profound growth happens in the dark, where there are no audiences, no likes, and no external rewards. When you practice your skill in a quiet room, when you study when you are tired, or when you choose discipline over distraction in absolute solitude, you are building an unshakable foundation. You are proving to yourself that your goals matter, not because they look good to others, but because they are true to who you are. As the days blend into weeks, a subtle shift begins to occur. The actions that once felt difficult, heavy, and forced start to feel natural. They become a part of your daily rhythm, as effortless as breathing. You no longer need to argue with yourself in the morning about whether to begin. The momentum has taken over. This is the reward of consistency. You have built an engine that runs on habit rather than fleeting willpower. The heavy stone that was so difficult to push at the start is now rolling forward under its own weight. Your only job now is not to lift it, but simply to keep guiding it along the path. It is during this period of steady routine that you begin to notice the compounding effect of your choices. In the beginning, progress is additive. 1 + 1 = 2. Feels linear and slow. But consistency operates on an exponential curve. After a long period of regular investment, the small steps you took months ago begin to multiply. A language learner suddenly realizes they can understand a full conversation without translating in their head. A writer finds that the words flow onto the page without friction. An athlete moves with a grace they didn't have before. These are not sudden miracles. They are the accumulated interest of your daily dedication. However, the true transformation that occurs through consistency is not external. It is not the house you built, the book you wrote, or the skill you mastered. The true transformation is who you became while doing it. You have cultivated a mind that is patient, a heart that is resilient, and a spirit that trusts the process. You have broken free from the endless cycle of seeking external validation and quick fixes. You have discovered a quiet, inner security that comes from knowing you are a person who keeps promises to yourself. When you can trust your own daily commitment, you no longer fear the scale of any future challenge. This inner security alters your relationship with failure. When your identity is rooted in the daily practice rather than a fragile outcome, a mistake is no longer a crisis. It is simply a single data point in a very long timeline. You realize that one bad day cannot destroy months of quiet building, just as one rainy afternoon cannot kill a healthy tree. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions to begin. You no longer need the weather to be beautiful, your mood to be flawless, or your schedule to be completely clear. You understand that the perfect moment is a myth. You simply carry your brick to the wall, rain or shine, and you lay it down with care. Look back now at the path you have traveled. The single drop of water you began with has worn a deep, beautiful groove into the stone. The foundation you laid with just a few bricks has grown into a strong, magnificent structure. The progress that felt completely invisible on any given afternoon is now undeniable when you look at the full landscape. You did not arrive here by magic or by a sudden stroke of luck. You arrived here because you chose to show up when you were tired. You arrived here because you kept walking when the path was boring. You built this momentum quietly, piece by piece, day by day. The results you see today are simply the visible echoes of your past discipline. The most beautiful thing about consistency is that it is a power available to everyone. It does not require special talent, immense wealth, or perfect luck. It only requires a decision you can make right now, in this very moment. It is the decision to lay one more brick, to take one more step, to read one more page. Your grand ambition is waiting, but it is not waiting for a miraculous explosion of motivation. It is waiting for the quiet commitment of your next ordinary day. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment you have and make it perfect through the quiet power of showing up day after day.